All right, welcome back to the Word Institute of Learning Well. This is a few extra hints and tips. So in this problem here, this is the initial value. This is an exponential function. The initial value is 100. And in this function, we have a growth factor of 1.25. What that means is your initial value is 100, and then every step of the way you're multiplying by 1.25. So, pardon me there, you get 125. And the next one would be more than that. We're just going to go over some terms here. That 100 is your initial value. Your growth factor meaning what you're multiplying by, is 1.25. But your growth rate, this is kind of tricky. It is the percent that you're growing by. So if you just look at these two numbers, this number here is 25 larger than that. And 25 compared to the original is 25 100ths. So you don't have to do all this math each time. That just represents 0.25 or 25%. That is the growth rate. It's pretty easy to see if you look at it here. And I'm even going to put here in red, or 25%. A lot of times we have to write percents as the decimal because that's the usable number in these equations. So if I give you this situation, this means this time we're starting at 1,000. That's our initial value. The growth factor is 1.08, and the growth rate is 8%. So the initial value is 1,000. The growth factor is 1.08, and the growth rate is 8%, or 1.08. Really, you could take this one here and subtract 1 from it. So here's where it gets a little confusing. In this example, we'll just start with 5,000. And now we're going to pick a number like 1.8. Initial value is 5,000. Easy. Growth factor, that's what you're multiplying by, 1.8. And the growth rate, if I take this and subtract 1 from it, I get 0.8. To write that as a percent, if that's easiest, you would add a 0 here and you would get 80%. All that means is that every stage of the game you have 80% more than you used to have. You're not quite doubling. In fact, doubling means you're gaining 100%. And here's why. In the same similar situation, you start with 5,000 and you have the number 2 here. Your initial value is 5,000. Your growth factor is 2. And again, if I subtract 1 from this, I get the number 1. And what that means is, to write that as a decimal, the number 1 is, as a percent, is 100%.